MLB is posting a highlight of Joey Gallo throwing a runner out from a clear mile away. The dude has a cannon of an arm. He's a great defender. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Dillard, bringing you guys another podcast. This is the Yankee Way podcast. I am here with my co-host, Mr. John. How are you doing, my great sir?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Do you want to tell everyone? Why you're feeling so great?
We got trades, man. The stove is hot. Can you feel it?
Yes, I can. I can feel it.
Hot, man. Trades are going left and right, dude. It feels like I'm trade deadline. I've been waiting years for this trade deadline to happen ever since Scherzer's name was mentioned 3 years ago. But it's nothing to do with Scherzer. But our trades have been pretty good in my opinion, and I'm excited to see this team play tomorrow. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was actually going to mention that. I know we only usually talk about the Yankees and stuff, but geez, I mean, did anyone see? Because I know that the Padres were on the Max Scherzer sweepstakes. And then it just didn't happen, and then the Dodgers ended up sweeping him with Trey Turner, and I'm like, that's nuts. That is insane. That's crazy, man.
I want Trey Turner really badly, but
you like Trey Turner a lot, don't you?
I like Trey Turner a lot. The guy is just a baseball guy, you know. He hits. I think I love the speed guys. There's so much fun to watch them break baseball. It's like watching Tim LeCastro run to first, and the guy at shortstop is just trying as hard as he can to make a routine ground ball out, and it's just funny to watch. Just stuff like that is just amazing to watch. I just enjoy it. I wish we had more of it. Now we do, but for a while we didn't, and we were missing out. Now we see a stolen base, and we're like, what did they just do? Can he do that?
Yeah, no kidding. It actually is really nice to see that. I actually have a quick little question before we jump into the Yankee stuff. You talk about Trey Turner. I've always said that Trey Turner is the perfect leadoff hitter. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I buy that.
Alrighty.
High on hit percentage makes that's great. Has speed, knows what he's doing. Can steal bases. Can score from first on a ball hit to the warning track. I mean, yeah, I love it.
Alrighty, so obviously we don't want to talk about the Yankees. We don't want to talk about the Nationals or anything, or the Dodgers or anything like that. There is a lot of trades that went on, but we're just going to talk about the Yankee stuff.
We're in the middle of it, and we're
this trade.
We're flying down on us as we speak.
This trade was this week. These last few days has just been nuts. They've been insane.
What it feels like to be an NBA fan, because this is crazy, man. There's just bombardments happening left and right, man. No one's safe.
No, absolutely no one. This is a crazy trade deadline, and we're not even done yet. We're not finished. We have no idea what else is going to come out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
The Mariners said, let's get rid of Graveman for the hell of it, and I'm like, what are you doing? And I don't understand. I'm so confused right now.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to talk about that a little bit, I didn't really understand that the Mariners ended up just giving away one good closer for another good closer, and what are the Rays doing with it? I mean,
with Castillo, and I guess Hill, because no more sticky stuff. It's just whatever, get rid of him now. Dump him on the Mets.
Alrighty, so let's talk about the Yankees though, because nobody cares about what the Rays and everybody's talking about. So the trade deadline's been crazy. The Yankees ended up getting Joey Gallo. They ended up getting Anthony Rizzo. We ended up also getting Joely Rodriguez, which was also included in the trade package with Joey Gallo. And then earlier, I had to mention it too. I know it happened a little earlier ago, but we also did get Clay Holmes from the Pirates. There's a lot to look forward to. There's a ton to look forward to. I was saying this on Twitter. I was like, after Gallo, Rizzo alone, that even just skyrocketed my expectations even more. I did not expect that at all. But the Joey Gallo trade alone, I said this on Twitter. I was like, I haven't been this happy since the Yankees ended up signing Garrett Cole. I mean, I was super happy about it. You know how big of a Joey Gallo supporter I am, how much I love Joey Gallo. I've always been a fan of his for the longest. I've defended the man so many times because people only claim that he can strike out and he does nothing else. So let's talk about that. So the Yankees, the first trade that obviously is the most important, arguably, is Joey Gallo and Joely Rodriguez, the relief pitcher from the Texas Rangers as well, to the Yankees in exchange for Glenn Otto, Ezekiel Duran, Trevor Hauver, and Josh Smith. I probably butchered that again, didn't I? I know we went over trying to pronounce these guys' last names before, and I just butchered it.
We had practice beforehand. Look, it's okay. We got rid of Asher Wojciechowski, so that minefield is no longer part of this team anymore. For now, he may clear. Wait, did he clear waivers? I don't think he did yet. I don't know yet. We're still waiting.
No, he's not with the Yankees anymore. He elected free agency.
He elected free agency.
Yeah,
right. He deserves that. You're right.
So this trade, man. I mean, my friend who.
I love this
when I mean my friend, I don't mean Twitter friends or anything. I mean someone who I went to school with and stuff. Massive Texas Rangers fan. He is so furious right now. He thinks that the Yankees completely fleeced the Rangers. We did.
This is a fair trade if Joey Gallo's a rental, but he's not a rental. You have him for next year too. I don't understand. Like, this guy was like, "Oh, we'll give you 4 people," and the guy was just like, "Oh my God, 4 people for Joey Gallo? I don't even care how good they are. Get him out of here."
And the good thing about this is it's not like the Yankees traded away Volpe or Dominguez. They didn't trade away any of their top prospects to get Joey Gallo.
The first trade came to the pipeline, and I'm like, oh my God, we gave up Garcia and Clark Schmidt. I'm like, oh my God, there's no way we just gave up like 2 potential future starters. And then they're like, there's no Peraza in it. There's no Clark Schmidt. There's no Pereira. There's no Dominguez. I'm like, oh my God, we stole this guy. I'm like, we just stole this guy. Like, it's just highway robbery. And people, all the people who were like, I hate Brian Cashman. This guy is an idiot. Like, he just stole Joey Gallo away. A left-handed power hitter. Like, I don't even know what to do with this, man. It's just absolute highway robbery today.
So I wanted to mention this. I don't know if this was something that you wanted to rant about. I know you wanted to rant about something, but here's what I want to talk about, because like I said, I am a very, very hardcore Joey Gallo supporter. I have been for a long time. I've always supported the guy. I've always thought he was a lot better than people give him credit for.
I don't understand how you can.
I don't know. Beats me, man. Like you said, it's not like he's a rental. He's not a free agent until 2023, so the Yankees are getting him for another full season.
We have him for all year.
Gold
Glove outfielder.
So right now, Joey Gallo is hitting .223 with a .379 on-base percentage, .490 slugging, .869 OPS, and a .139 WRC+, all above average numbers. Very, very good numbers.
That's like top of the Yankees in a lot of categories, including batting average.
Also,
that's so sad.
Not like average matters or anything, but yeah, if you want to point that out. The one thing also that I really, really like about Gallo, obviously outside of the high on-base percentage and the high WRC+, is he is first among all qualified hitters and BB percentage. Almost a 20% walk rate. That's nuts. That's insane. This is the thing that I'm going to rant about for just a second, so give me a little bit of time.
All right.
People only want to say that Joey Gallo, all he does is he's either a big hitter or he's a small hitter. He either goes yard or he strikes out. He doesn't do anything. He's only one outcome or he's the other. Here's the thing, though. He's hitting .223, but here's the thing. He almost has a .400 on-base percentage. He's up there. His slugging's good. Good OPS, above average OPS, good WRC+. He's creating a lot of runs and, in turn, creating a lot of value for the Rangers, or now the Yankees at this point. So all really good numbers. He's the best in the league, has the highest walk rate. So not only can he hit for power, he's a lefty power that could use a short porch to his advantage, which is going to be terrifying because I don't know how far he's going to launch dingers left and right over that short porch. It's going to be nuts. You also have the lefty bat, like I said, not only to utilize the short porch to his advantage, but to also mix and match, also with Rizzo too. You got more lefties in the lineup. That's a good thing. You know what I mean? You want to mix it up. People complained that the Yankees lineup was too righty based, so this is going to solve your problem. You have 2 really good left-handed hitters. But as far as Gallo's concerned, people just care about the low batting average, and they care about the fact that he strikes out 32.2% at the time, but they don't want to mention that he's the best in the league with walks. They don't want to mention that he gets on base a lot through walks. They don't want to mention his high slugging. They don't want to mention the OPS. They don't want to mention the WRC plus and how much runs he's creating for the team. They don't want to mention the fact that he's a 3.4 F-WAR player and a 4.3 B-WAR player. He's creating wins for his team. They don't want to also mention, here's the underrated part that a lot of people don't seem to be thinking about and people are overlooking, is the fact that Gallo is an outstanding defender. You're not only getting a dude who walks a lot, who gets on base a lot and creates a lot of value for his team and puts wins on the board from him single-handedly, but you also are getting a plus defender. This are the numbers from just this year alone. 14 DRS, 4.4 UZR, 6 outs above average. Really, really good numbers. If you've seen Joey Gallo at all, if you're not living under a rock, it seems like every other day, if not every other third or fourth day, MLB is posting a highlight of Joey Gallo throwing a runner out from a clear mile away. The dude has a cannon of an arm. He's a great defender. And that's the thing. He doesn't just play, right field or left field. He also plays center field. He plays every position you want to put him in the outfield. So he's very versatile in the outfield. So he's a good power lefty bat who's going to use the short porch to his advantage. He can get on base. He can do damage. And that's the thing. You have to think about it. How much more pressure are you putting on a starting pitcher when you put Joey Gallo in the lineup? When you have, DJ LeMahieu, assume that DJ LeMahieu gets on base and he stops hitting grounders into the dirt right to a shortstop's or a second baseman's glove. If DJ LeMahieu gets on base, and then you have Aaron Judge, and then you have Joey Gallo, and you have Gary Sanchez, and now you have Anthony Rizzo, it's like, how do you face these? You cannot walk everybody. You have to challenge these hitters at some point. So it's also that kind of intimidation factor. And here's a stat that I pulled up that I thought was incredible. In over 2,000 plate appearances, specifically 2,173 plate appearances, 2,173 plate appearances, Joey Gallo has only grounded into a double play 9 times. Only 9 times in almost 2,200 plate appearances. That's nuts. That's crazy.
Money.
That's what the Yankees need. The Yankees need a hitter like Joey Gallo, and hopefully he can influence them. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight or anything's going to happen. We have seen good things from like Gleyber Torres, for example. Gleyber's starting to lift the ball a lot more, which is making me happy. But the good thing about Gallo is he's lifting the ball. He's always lifting the ball. That's why he's doing damage. He's hitting line drives. He's hitting fly balls. He's doing what he needs to do. I looked up league averages the other day. I can't remember the specific numbers, but I can tell you, among league averages this year, when somebody hits a fly ball, the WRC plus range is around 170. When you hit a line drive, the WRC plus is in the 300s. When you hit a grounder, it's in the 30s. That's a massive difference. Basically, what that's telling me is not only exit velocity matters, but launch angle matters. Hitting line drives and hitting fly balls is a lot more productive. And that's the thing. A lot of people wanted to complain about the fly balls today at the Rays game. No, the Rays, we didn't do anything. We still won the series, but I wanted to mention this real quick. I would much rather, any day of the week, this team hit 1,000 flyouts and end up winning the game because they didn't ground into a single double play over grounding into 4 or 5 double plays a game. Much rather take the flyouts because eventually those results are going to turn into positive results and good outcomes. The more you lift the ball, good things are going to happen. Hit the ball harder instead of soft contact, things are going to happen. I know it's not always going to happen. Baseball's unpredictable. Sometimes you'll get those weak contact bloop singles. It happens, but the majority of the time, exit velocity, hard hit contact with lifting the ball equals good results, and you're not going to ground into a double play. You'd much rather take 1 out over 2 outs any day of the week. Also, that's the thing, strikeouts, if Joey Gallo is going to strike out over grounding into a double play, I'm taking that any day of the week. I don't care. People always want to complain about, this team's too strikeout prone. Well, what do you want? Do you want the alternative? You guys were complaining so much that this team only strikes out. The second that we all start complaining, they start hitting to 1 million double plays. So what do you want? Would you rather the team be strikeout hitters and only have 1 out, or constantly hit into double plays and pretty much it seems like 95% of all their RISP chances. Every time they have runners in scoring position, it seems like they screw it up from hitting it into a double play instead of just whiffing and striking out. It's much better. Pass the baton to the guy behind you. Give them another chance to be able to elevate the ball. If you hit it into the dirt, oh well. If it's 2 outs, it doesn't matter at that point. At least you gave yourself a fighting chance. Another guy, pass the baton to get some runs in. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? I think I hit the nail in the coffin pretty much with anything I wanted to talk about with Gallo.
I'm just reading through some stuff right now. Everyone gets upset whenever they're like, "Oh, I hate this guy. He's batting 222." And it just, do you want to know what the league average batting average is for this year? 241. And our team batting average is in the 230s. It's not like he's that far behind everybody else on this team or in this league. It's not like he's that bad. Seriously, the median batting average is like 240. Sorry. And it used to be lower than that before the sticky stuff crackdown. Let's be real. Ever since the sticky stuff crackdown, Gallo's been like cutting down on the strikeouts. He's been actually doing much better. So the thing I wanted to yell about, and this is something that drives me insane, and I feel like every time I listen to a game or watch a game, it hammers it home. The Yankees don't hit home runs with runners in scoring position, and when we have runners in scoring position, we grind to double plays. I have the numbers here. Joey Gallo. All right, here, I'll read you the numbers of everybody else first. Judge with runners in scoring position, 3 home runs, 25 RBIs, 4 double plays. Gary, 3 home runs, 19 RBIs, 6 grounded double plays. LeMahieu, an amazing hitter with runners in scoring position, hits 256 with runners in scoring position, 1 home run, 7 grounds into double plays. I'm sorry, 4. I'm reading the wrong number. Stanton, 4 home runs, 7 double plays. Urshela, one of our better hitters, 3 home runs, 5 double plays. Clint Frazier, just because I'm maniacal, 1 home run, 3 double plays. Anthony Rizzo, for the people who are curious, 2 home runs, 4 double plays. Joey Gallo, if you're curious, with runners in scoring position this year, 7 home runs, no double plays. I mean, like, come on. This guy is a machine with runners in scoring position. Yes, he hits 200 with runners in scoring position. He has a 904 OPS with runners in scoring position, which is the best on this team right now, as it stands. He has 30 RBIs, which is 1 RBI behind DJ LeMahieu in terms of runners in scoring position. Like, the guy is just, like, exactly what we need. A left-handed bat who's going to benefit in this stadium, who actually produces. I mean, I don't know why people think he doesn't produce. I mean, clearly he's as good as everybody else in this lineup, or better, and doesn't erase base runners. Like, that's what I wanted to yell about. Like, he is a 904. Gallo is a 904 OPS with runners in scoring position. Second on this team is Judge with 887, and then falls off a cliff. I mean, Stanton is 799, Gary is 735, DJ 677, Gio 653, Brett Gardner no home runs, 419 OPS with runners in scoring position, hitting 133, slugging 178. It's just it's extremely frustrating. Anyway, so my point is that Gallo is the thing we don't do is we don't hit, like, when we hit a home run, it's a solo home run. There's no one on base. Joey Gallo hits home runs with people on base, unlike the rest of everybody else in this lineup. He clearly, with people in scoring position, produces. So, yes, he has a low batting average, but I mean, if you're looking at just that number, you're missing the picture here. The guy produces way better than anybody else in this lineup is producing right now, and he's going to be even better in this home run hitter's ballpark. I mean, and you know what's really weird about Gallo? He hits lefties better than righties. I don't understand that. I don't get it. Like, it's also Rizzo too is the same way. He hits lefties better than righties. I have Joey Gallo and Rizzo pulled up here. Joey Gallo is hitting 244 against lefties. He's slugging 513 for an 888 OPS compared to righties. Gallo's hitting 209. He's hit less home runs against lefties, but he actually has a higher average and a higher slugging percentage. Rizzo is the same way. He's hitting 333 against lefties. Although granted limited plate appearances. I mean, 87 at-bats versus lefties, but like, he's hitting 216 against righties. I mean, it's weird. We have lefties who hit lefties. I don't get it. Anyway, that's all I want to yell about is the fact that, we grind the double plays against these people. Like, if there is not a book on the Yankees that says, oh, there's a guy on third with 1 out, just walk that guy. They'll ground out to a double play somehow. Don't worry about it. But now we've got the solution. Finally, we've arrived. Thank God. Anyway, that's it for me.
Alrighty, so I think we hit the nail in the coffin on Gallo. I want to talk more about Anthony Rizzo. So Anthony Rizzo obviously also is a Yankee in exchange.
Yeah, Joey Gallo also has 6 stolen bases.
You heard it first. He's stealing bases left and right too.
Why? Anyway.
So Anthony Rizzo to the Yankees in exchange for Kevin Alcantara, and you're gonna have to help me again with this because I know we practiced trying to pronounce this.
Yes.
Go ahead and list his name.
Vizcaino.
Yes. So Alexander Vizcaino.
Yeah. You're lucky it wasn't Yanders Gomez.
No. So Anthony Rizzo is a free agent in 2022. So unlike Gallo, Rizzo is pretty much a rental. Rizzo is hitting 248 with a 346 on base percentage, 446 slugging.
Amazing on this team.
Oh
my god.
792 OPS, 115 WRC plus. Pretty much all of them are above league average numbers, at least the ones that really matter, such as the OPS and the WRC plus. Also, with Rizzo, you know that you're getting a seasoned veteran player who's pretty much been an above league average player, really high on that list for pretty much his whole career. He's also, the walk rate could be a little bit better. It's not extremely high, but the one thing that I did notice about Rizzo from watching one of the Reds games today, or not the Reds games today, I'm totally getting that sidetracked. A game a few days ago before Rizzo even got traded, which was interesting because I was thinking about it at the time. And then a few days later, Rizzo ends up getting traded. I was like, that's weird. That's not a coincidence at all. But I remember whenever I was watching the Cubs play and I was listening to the broadcasters from the Cubs broadcast team, and when Rizzo was up to bat, they were talking about his low strikeout rate. Now I know strikeouts don't mean anything. I'd be going against what I said with Gallo because they really don't. Gallo is producing enough that I don't care if he strikes out. I'd rather him strike out than ground to a double play. But I did notice that Anthony Rizzo, for some weird reason right now, has pretty much his lowest strikeout rate of his career right now. It's like a 15.7%, which again, I know strikeouts, don't mean everything. I'd much rather you strike out than ground into a double play like the Yankees are so famously known for. But I mean, it's definitely something to keep in mind. At least that alone should make some of you happy, at least the people who hate strikeouts. But
I hate strikeouts.
Anthony Rizzo, 1 F4, 1.F4, 1.3 B WAR. Defense, Anthony Rizzo, -2 DRS, -0.8 UZR, not good there, but 7 outs above average, so he's good in that department. And the thing with Rizzo is I don't think that's a long-term effect because Rizzo's a pretty solid first baseman, as we know. He doesn't have career negative DRS and career negative UZR numbers, so I'm not really worried about it. He's definitely a defensive upgrade compared to what we had with Voit and Ford and such, and Greg Bird even. So I had to mention Greg Bird just because, why not? But Anthony Rizzo is also a much better defender.
He's had enough in his life already. I mean, the guy's had like 5 surgeries, and now you just want to dunk on him.
Well, I had to mention the defense because Anthony Rizzo is one of the better first basemen defensively, not just offensively, but defensively that we've had too.
I mean, yes, but also a stick is better than Greg Bird, but that's besides the point.
Well, that's why I mentioned Mike Ford and Luke Voit too, okay? I mentioned 3 players' defensive abilities, okay? It's not just one player.
The Yankee fans are so mad. Mike Ford's raking in AAA right now, and they're mad.
We're not going to start on the Mike Ford discussion. We already talked about that. I'm not going to do it.
Anyway.
I'm not going to do it. Also, I think the thing that I wanted to mention about Rizzo, it has nothing to do with his stats, okay? This is kind of something coming from my heart, and it's not something that I would usually say on a podcast, but it's just something I have to say to Cubs fans in general, because I do have friends that are Cubs fans. There's a lot of people that I follow that are Cubs fans. One of the nicest fan bases I've interacted with. I know some people, probably Cardinals fans, would have much more different things to say about it, but in my experience from interacting with Cubs fans, some of the nicest people that I've talked to, a lot of really cool people on the Cubs Twitter side of things.
But they hate that one guy.
I don't who's that one guy?
The one guy that caught the foul ball.
Oh wait, is that Sammy Sosa?
No, I'm talking about the guy, the fan.
Oh no, the fan. Oh okay, that's a different story. I'm not gonna talk about that. I don't care about that. That happened a long time ago. I don't care about that.
Maybe we'll never forget.
But the thing that I really just
100 years later.
Yeah, but the thing I kind of wanted to just say to Cubs fans a little bit, it has nothing to do with numbers. It's just I don't think Yankee fans in general know how incredibly blessed we are to have Anthony Rizzo. It's not even just because he's a seasoned veteran that we know is going to produce. It's also because Rizzo is just a man of the people. He's done so much for the city of Chicago with his foundation and everything that he's done to help people. for numerous reasons, more things than I can count. He's one of the nicest guys in baseball. I mean, it's honestly a hard competition for me to decide who's nicer, who has a better personality between him and Freddie Freeman, because I think both of them are the nicest guys in baseball. Like, you cannot hate either one of them. I never saw Rizzo coming to the Yankees. That completely blew my mind. I thought, kind of like Freeman with the Braves, where I think Freeman is going to retire with them, I thought Rizzo was going to stay a Cub for the rest of his life, retire with them. It just seemed like it was the right thing for them to do. But I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you, especially Brian Cashman, for getting Anthony Rizzo. I love Anthony Rizzo. I can't say much more other than the fact that I think Cubs fans deserve better. I know the Cubs weren't going to be able to re-sign Bryant, Baez, and Rizzo. That just wasn't humanly possible with all their contract years coming up. But, I mean, I feel like out of the one guy that I thought was never going to leave Chicago, it was going to be Rizzo. Bryant I could see because of the MVP caliber season, and I just – not that Bryant's not a fan favorite, I just definitely could see Bryant elsewhere, and I know there have been trade talks with, like, the Giants and such with Bryant. But Rizzo was one of those guys that I just was like, he's going to stay with the franchise. He's going to retire with them. He's not going to go anywhere. It would be weird if he went anywhere. So, and I guess also one big thing is that to Yankee fans, I know it's not going to happen because this fan base is horrible about booing people, but Rizzo should be the last person that anybody is booing, like, period. Seriously.
You're already putting him up for booing.
I know it's going to happen, but, man, like, people who boo Rizzo, like, those people are actually pathetic, like, straight up. Seriously.
Like, people booed Chris Davis, and he's like the most nice guy ever. I mean, they booed him. It happens, you know. I know I'm setting myself up for failure because it's going to happen. And it's going to happen with Gallo, too. But the only thing that I say to those people is that if you're going to boo them, don't come around and say that you were their biggest supporter whenever they're doing well, because people can catch that. It's not hard to figure out who was the ones who were supporting them and who were the ones who were booing left and right. It's really not. I mean, you can tell by the way that people tweet at other players or tweet about players on Twitter, you know what I mean? So all I'm saying is if you boo them, keep that same energy, and once they succeed, you know, people remember those things. But you'll never catch – I mean, I don't boo players at all. I'm just not that type of person, but you especially will not catch me booing Joey Gallo, and especially not Anthony Rizzo. But I guess at the end of the day, I'm just extremely thankful. Obviously, I think Joey Gallo is the biggest package out of all of this. But, man, Anthony Rizzo is definitely probably the nicest guy, is probably the most likable player in the league outside of Freddie Freeman. And I can't even imagine how much this hurts Cubs fans, because you have to think about it. It's like Anthony Rizzo, not only has he done so much for the city of Chicago and he loves the fan, or the what? Okay. Sorry, I'm reading through baseball Reddit right now, and I just saw really funny.
All right, well, save that, because I wanted to hammer this last thing. And so, obviously, Rizzo has done a lot for the city of Chicago. But I think the other thing that's really important, a lot of people, especially like the Cubs fans, a reason that they'd be hurt about it is you have to think it's like Rizzo was here whenever the Cubs broke their century-long championship dry streak. I mean, he was there when they won the World Series. How much do you think that means to people? And at the end of the day, you have to think it's like, obviously Rizzo has the numbers to back it up, but at some point, sometimes it just seems like there's players that you need to keep just to keep, I guess, your sanity in check, if that's the right phrase to say, or just kind of to keep a past part of the team with the team, if that makes sense. Unless you're Brett Gardner. Now, Brett Gardner is not in this exception. I'm sorry. Brett Gardner is not batting enough, and he's not doing anything defensively for this to work out in his favor. But I guess with Rizzo, I mean, he has the numbers to back it up and such. But
I mean, yeah, I have a comparison for you, which is basically like, imagine if we won the World Series last year, and then the next year we come back, you'd be like, let's trade Gary and let's trade Judge right now. It's time to blow it up. That's it. We've got our one World Series. We're done. Like, imagine, like, the Cubs are a big market team. Imagine if they're like, all right, that's it. We're done. We'll see you guys in 3 years, you know? Like, imagine if we did that. Like, it would make no sense. A big market team just selling off everybody. Like, it's just impossible to believe it.
All right, so just because we've been on the podcast for a while, there were two quick things I want to discuss. I just want to discuss the two relief pitchers that we've gotten, Joely Rodriguez and Clay Holmes. Here's the thing. I have the numbers to back it up, so if you don't have the numbers, I got you on this. A lot of people are only going to look at the ERA. They look at Rodriguez, they see the 5.93 ERA. They look at Holmes, and they see the 4.93 ERA. They look at that, and they're like, oh, I don't like this trade. But here's the thing. Both of them have a lot of upside, and here's what I mean by that. Let's start with Rodriguez.
Well, first off, Rodriguez isn't dead, so, I mean, that's a good start.
So you have a 3.76 expected ERA, 3.70 FIP, 3.26 expected FIP. The whip is pretty high, obviously, because walking hitters a lot. 1.61 whip. I wish that would come down a little bit.
He'll fit right in with the other Yankees. They walk everybody.
But also a 3.41 Sierra. Really good numbers. His Sierra is good. His xFIP is good. His FIP is solid. His expected ERA is solid. It's not bad. He has a lot of good expectations going forward. 824. Here's the thing that really sticks out to me. 824 slugging when throwing a four seam, so
Yeah,
I would prefer he not throw his four seam like at all at that rate. But here's the thing: 375 slugging when throwing a sinker, and a 283 slugging when throwing a changeup. So what that says to me is he needs to throw a lot of changeup. That's his best pitch. Here's another positive outcome or a positive outlook on Rodriguez. He's 96th percentile for chase rate. He's a ground ball pitcher who just so happens to get decent strikeout numbers. So that's a good thing. He's not going to, not only does he strike out hitters at a decent solid rate, gets decent chase rate, mostly from his sinker, because his sinker, or not his sinker, his changeup, because his changeup is his best pitch. But also, he's a ground ball pitcher. And as far as I can tell, when Britton is doing his things right, the Yankees get out of jams pretty well. I know Britton has struggled this year, but most of the time when Britton has been on his game in a larger sample size from 2019 or so to now, Britton has been a pretty reliable reliever for the Yankees. So I like that he's a ground ball pitcher with decent strikeout numbers. That's a plus. Also, with Clay Holmes is almost identical. He also has a really good Sierra, a good xFIP. FIP could be a little bit lower, but a good expected ERA. ERA is really high up there. The whip also is high up there because he's also has sinkers in his arsenal. Clay Holmes actually, unlike Rodriguez, has a Rodriguez has one. He has a good sinker, but Holmes is really known for his sinker. I mean, I don't know if you saw footage of his sinker, but it's disgusting. It is nasty.
He's like the right-handed Zach Britton.
Basically, he gets a lot of ground balls. He also strikes out hitters at a decent clip for
ground ball percent right now.
For a ground ball pitcher. Clay Holmes also, like Joey Rodriguez, strikes out hitters at a pretty decent rate, which is just a plus at the end of the day. And then
I really like the guy from Pittsburgh. I really do. It's just that this dude from Texas, I don't believe this guy. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like he's 29. He's almost 30 at this point. That is, and how many he's pitched how many innings has he pitched? He's pitched in 81 games, he's been around since the Yankees won the last World Series.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I think he made his debut. In 2009 was when he first started pitching. This guy's been around forever. He's pitched 81 games in the big leagues. He's been in Japan for longer than he's been in the big leagues. I mean, I just don't believe this guy. He clearly can't pitch at the minor league level. He's 43 and 44 with a 4.34 ERA. If you have a 4.34 ERA in the minors, I'm sorry, I don't think you're making it at the major league level. I don't think you got it. I really don't. I don't believe in it at all.
Can I say something to ease your mind a little bit?
I don't. He's pitched in 10 times more games in the minors and has almost the same damn ERA.
Okay, so you know how you like Clay Holmes, right?
Yeah, I do like Clay Holmes.
What if I told you Rodriguez has a better Sierra and a better xFIP than Holmes? How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's small sample size because it's only been 81 games over, I don't know, the entire last time since we won a World Series.
No, this is specifically this year's numbers.
I don't know. Might be sticky stuff. I really don't know. We'll see.
And here's the other thing. You have to think about how many times has the Yankees been able to develop good bullpen arms, such as Tommy Kahnle, for example. Tommy Kahnle, really, really, really solid. I know he's not with us anymore. I know Britton was good before, but Britton has also been very good with us, minus this year. He's had his setbacks. I get it, but especially 2019, he was super, super good. It's nothing new. Also, Jonathan Loáisiga. Look how much Jonathan Loáisiga has blown up this year. He's been outstanding. Very, very good. I know the Yankees ended up trading him to the Reds, but Luis Sessa was arguably having his best year this year too. Luis Sessa was good and solid this year. So I guess my point is that I think, if anything, I think that we can turn Joely Rodriguez into a solid reliever, and same with Clay Holmes. If they can figure out the best way to utilize their sinkers, since they are ground ball pitchers, and especially with Joely, he has a pretty good changeup, who just so happens to get a decent chase rate and good strikeout numbers with as a ground ball pitcher. I think that if these guys can to develop or become anything that's similar to Zach Britton, it's a plus. I'm liking that because, to be honest, whenever this team gets double plays, I'm never worried about them turning double plays anymore. I mean, it's not like it was in 2018 where they just turned absolutely no double plays, seemed like the defense was horrendous. It's not like that anymore. I'm not worried about this team not turning double plays because, I mean, Britton's proved it in the last few years with his numbers and how well he succeeded. You know what I mean? So
I'm just trying to break down this giant block of numbers in front of me, because like I said, he's been pitching since, I don't know, about 1837. So I mean, like, it's just that he strikes out a lot of people, but he gives up. It's so weird that in dead ball land where we're living in right now, where the ball doesn't travel, he's posted just this massive ERA and just can't throw enough strikes. It's so strange to me.
I get your point.
I can't tell you.
I'm not saying you need to be worried. Okay, I will.
It's even weirder because he's got Gold Glovers behind him. Like, I'm pretty sure he was, he had a Gold Glover at third base this year.
I'm not going to completely disagree because, I mean, you really do like Clay Holmes, though. You've expressed that.
Yeah, I like that. It's just that, this guy it kind of seems like he was just kind of like, they needed a roster spot, and they're just like, we don't want this guy anymore. Take him.
And the one thing I wanted to mention about Clay is, I mean, I get it. I know it's only one start, it's only one inning, but, I mean, he did pitch against the Rays, 1 inning, 1-2-3 inning with 1 strikeout. So, I mean, Clay has done his job so far with the Yankees. I know the game was a blowout game, but I don't really care. It's definitely something impressive to look at. And Romano, too, Big Sal, as they're calling him. I mean, I know the game was out of reach by that time, but I mean, he had a pretty good solid outing too, outside of the Rays blowing the Yankees apart, but that's beside the point.
It's like super early in the morning right now. I'm just going to put it on, like, the trade deadline ends in like a couple hours. I'm going to jump into this and say that I really don't see a place for Voit on this team anymore. I love Voit as a fan. I really appreciate it. He's super awesome, but like when you have Rizzo, there's no more place to put Voit. Because if you were like, oh, well, we'll just DH Voit, that means you're going to put Stanton in the field. And you said you're going to put Gallo in center. Gallo's played like maybe 30 games in center his entire career. He doesn't do it very often. I wouldn't put him in the center field. Like, that would require you to put Gallo in right, Stanton in left, and then Judge is now your everyday center fielder. Like, I don't think he can do that. I really genuinely don't. So, I mean, that's the problem, is that if you're going to DH Voit, is the only spot I see him playing, is that you're either going to kill Judge, or you're going to waste Luke Voit when you could probably just use him in trade for somebody, honestly. I love the guy, but this trade kind of puts him in a spot where it's an unwinnable situation where he's just kind of, he's the link that doesn't make sense here. Like, he's just, I don't know, you got to do something with him. I think they will try to flip him into something. I feel like if they don't get anything desperate, maybe they'll just hold on to him and split time. I don't know, but it just seems to me that he just doesn't really have a spot on this team anymore.